After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John with him and led them up a high mountain, where they were all alone. There he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. And there appeared before them Elijah and Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He didn't know what to say. They were so frightened. Then a cloud appeared and covered them, and a voice came from the cloud. "This is my Son, whom I love. Listen to him." Suddenly, when they looked around, they no longer saw anyone with them except Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus gave them orders not to tell anyone what they had seen until the Son of Man had risen from the dead. They kept the matter to themselves, discussing what rising from the dead meant. And they asked him, "Why do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first?" Jesus replied, "To be sure, Elijah does come first and restores all things. Why then is it written that the Son of Man must suffer much and be rejected? But I tell you, Elijah has come, and they have done to him everything they wished, just as it is written about him."
Mark chapter 9 verses 2 to 13. I'm standing on the Hawthorne Road in the Cinderella laundrette. This is where people come to get their whites whiter than white, if there is such a thing. They come to get their clothes bleached. Now, actually, what we see in our passage today is a supernatural whiteness. And it happens with Jesus and 3 of his disciples, Peter, James, and John. They're up a mountain. A few days before, Jesus had said that there would be some that would not taste death before they'd seen Jesus' coming power, and that is what they were going to experience less than a week later. In the Old Testament, often people had encounters with God up a mountain, and that is where Jesus is. And he is transfigured. In the Greek, that was metamorphosis. Morph, that was a little plasticine character that used to change and getting up to all sorts of mischief with Tony Hart's art materials on TV. It's a change, and Jesus changes into his glory. He becomes so bright and brilliant. It's supernatural. And 3 of these disciples get to see this. Well, Peter doesn't know what to say, so he often just opens his mouth to change feet, and he says, "Oh, it's really good for us to be here." "Yes, Peter, but it's not about you." And then he says, "Well, because Moses and Elijah's there as well," he says, "Well, maybe we could make 3 tents, 3 booths, shelters." After all, in the Old Testament, people lived in tents. No, they're not here to stay. It's interesting that Moses and Elijah are with Jesus. In the Old Testament, Moses personified the law and Elijah the prophets. So this is a coming together of the whole of the Old Testament. You know, we've just had Jesus saying, it's going to be really tough to follow me. It's going to involve taking up your cross. And maybe these disciples were thinking, are we backing the right horse? Is this really what we've got to do? And now they are having this confirmed by all of what the Old Testament pointed to. Jesus now fulfills. And then there is a voice from heaven that engulfs them in a cloud. "This is my Son, whom I love. Listen to him. Even God the Father endorses Jesus. Listen to him. This is his master's voice. Whatever you give up for Lent, whatever you fast from, do not fast from Jesus' words. Feast on them, listen to them, obey them, put them into practice. We are at the halfway point in our series in Mark's Gospel. We're just starting the second half as we journey towards the cross during this Lent period. It's going to be an exciting journey. Let's listen to what Jesus has to say and put his words into practice. Father, Jesus is weighty. Forgive me for thinking that he is almighty when he is almighty. Thank you for his awesome brilliance, his supernatural glory. I want to be one who listens and obeys what Jesus says in all of his brilliance and his whiteness and cleanliness, spotlessness and brilliance. Amen.